Saturday night.
You said you could sleep here till Saturday night, really?
Listen, I'm that excited. I could quite easily put up a sofa bed here and sleep here. I would not have a problem with that.
Can we put a petition up so that Adam Smith, the one and only Adam Smith, can get a bed and sleep here? That would be absolutely brilliant.
My wife would be too happy. She never sees it at the best of times. Hey, Jeff. But our wives are never happy with us on the road. But yeah, I would be quite happy to sleep here and wait for the weigh-in and for the fight. I'm that excited.
Wow. Well, we would like to sort of introduce you again. You know, the one and only Adam Smith, formerly of Sky, now at DAZN. You know, you're everywhere.
Sounds a bit strange, doesn't it?
Very strange. Like, we're so used to seeing you at Sky, and now saying that you're at DAZN is this so different.
I was swapping messages with the head of Sky Sports, Jonathan Lish, this morning about the fight, and it is odd. It is odd. You know, cut me open, and I led Sky for many, many years. Sky was my life, my career, and I believe Sky will be in boxing for a long time still to come. But I'm really happy, and I'm now home of boxing, DAZN, which is definitely it is, with Frank and Eddie and Oscar and everyone on there, and GBM, who I work with, Izzy, and of course so many other, you know, the Bare Knuckle, the Misfits. It really is the home of combat sports, and you know, Turki Al-Sheikh coming out today saying there's going to be no more pay-per-view, and they've sat down with the big bosses at DAZN, and yeah, look, it's I'm lucky to be at the right place at the moment. I'm enjoying life at DAZN. The team are fantastic. Really enjoying being on the mic with Darren and Barry. Of course, I miss Matt and Johnny and all my old colleagues at Sky, but yeah, it's a new chapter, and I'm enjoying it.
Just quickly want to touch up on that, really, on Turkey's comments about, you know, no more pay-per-views now for the Riyadh and Ring magazine events.
Wow.
I find that's a big statement, that really. What do you think?
Listen, I don't really remember life at Sky much before pay-per-view. There was on Sky Sports. 1996, I think, was when Bruno fought Tyson on the first pay-per-view, and we had pay-per-view pretty solidly till about 2011, but there was a sort of feeling that it would be taken off for 2 or 3 years, and then it came back with Froch and Kessler, great fight at the O2, their second fight. Yeah. And then, of course, box office fights, you know, took off, and we've had some phenomenal times, phenomenal nights. I always got that question, you know, why pay so much for it? And I'm like, well, it's your choice. And we try to entertain as much as we can with the build-up and make it a special, sparkling night. And I think box office nights had that. But look, Turki Al-Sheikh has come in and is changing everything, and the landscape is totally different. I remember coming to a press conference at Wembley Arena, almost out of my hospital bed and still not very well, when Frank Warren and Eddie Hearn were shaking hands, and I thought I was still in a coma. Honestly, I couldn't believe it. I mean, I worked with Frank and Eddie for many, many years. I never thought I'd see that. So Turki and George and Frank Smith and all the people that got that together is incredible. To see them working together and now see them both partnering up on DAZN. There's competition, friendly rivalry. It's fantastic for us. It's fantastic for fighters, and it's fantastic for all the fans out there. We are fans, so it's brilliant. So yeah, if it works for fans and it works for fighters, and the fighters are getting paid the most money and the fans are getting the best access, happy days.
That, I think, well said on that one. And if the fans are happy, that's the most important thing.
The most important thing after the fighters being happy, because none of us, not you, not the hundreds of media that came here, it was a great turnout, by the way, and all the fans at home would be anywhere without the fighters.
That's true.
So I always try and remind everybody that the fighters come first and foremost. And the person I felt sorriest for today actually was Joseph Parker, you know, chatting to him, wandering about and thinking, you know, he should probably be the one in that ring on Saturday night. So you got to feel for the fighters. They've got a short career, and they do everything for their livelihoods and for our entertainment. So at whatever level, you know, whether you're opening up on Saturday night, whether you're opening up at your call on Friday night, it doesn't matter. The fighters are the most important thing in our sport.
Absolutely. And speaking on the fight on Saturday, big undisputed fight between Usyk Dubois 2. Last time now, a lot of controversy. Was Dubois' shot to Usyk low? You know, there's been a lot of talk about it in the first press conference, and obviously, you know, seeing the fight build up and seeing the turnout today, really, like, what did you gather around from those last sort of 2 months, from the first press conference until this press conference now? Obviously, they're going to see each other tomorrow. What have you gathered around? What have you learnt about the two teams?
Very different press conferences, weren't they? A much smaller media turnout a few weeks ago, and a much livelier one where George Fox really got involved. Don Charles, Alexander walked out. I mean, I've never seen that before. Today was more business as usual. Huge throngs of media, which is fantastic to see. And why not? The first Undisputed Heavyweight Championship on home soil at our national stadium. Just brilliant. And people fascinated with this because of the form of Daniel Dubois. This isn't 2 years ago. This isn't in Poland. This is 2 years where he's knitted together with Don Charles, and people forget Kieran Farrell in there as well, and a huge team around him. He believes in himself. Daniel has proved against Jarrell Miller, against Filip Hrgovic, and against Anthony Joshua that he's a legitimate world heavyweight champion. Can he beat Alexander Usyk is still the big question. He couldn't do it in Poland. I don't care about the controversy of the low blow or whatever. He didn't win that fight. That's history. He's got to start again on Saturday night, and he's got to do something differently. For me, he's got to use his jab. That jab is a good weapon. He's got to double it up. He's got to hope that Alexander Usyk has slowed in some way. There was no sign of that against Fury in the second fight. I mean, decline. He got better and better. I think it was a 15-round fight. He would have won even wider. Yeah, what does he eat for breakfast? Well, I've been in Gandier, I've been in that training camp, I've been with Professor Cuba, and he's beating records. So don't read anything into the 38 age. I think read more into the fact he's only had 23 professional fights. I think Alexander Usyk is still fresh. I think he's brilliant at rematches. I think he believes full-heartedly that he gets the job done on Saturday night. And he starts a worthy favourite. Can Daniel Dubois upset the odds? He can. He's got the power, he's got the armory, he's got the self-belief now. I do believe he's got that. He's got the confidence. He'll walk into that ring, tunnel vision like he did against Joshua, but he's got to get success early. He's got to have something in those first 2 or 3 rounds that wobbles or troubles Usyk. If he doesn't, he's in a whole heap of trouble. If he does, it's game on.
Game on indeed. And obviously, this last question for me really, and speaking of Daniel Dubois, him being the home fighter, you know, you're seeing his team cheering him up, you know, the mind games from the first press conference, the second press conference. For a home fighter like him, how do you deal with the pressure of fighting for an undisputed championship of the world against arguably, if not one of, or if not the best pound-to-pound fighter of this generation?
I think Daniel Dubois is very much his own man. I think the way that his father has brought him up, and the way he's been sort of tunnel visioned and channeled to becoming this, hopefully, undisputed heavyweight champion. That's what they believe will happen. They believe it's destiny. I don't know if you spent a lot of time with Daniel's dad, Stan, or Dave, as he calls himself as well, 2 sort of names, but he's very spiritual. He believes he's got a purpose in life. And Don Charles is very spiritual, and they believe that Daniel Dubois is destined to become heavyweight champion of the world, undisputed, all the belts on Saturday night. So that's a great place to go into it, with the camp believing that. And I think Daniel does believe that. So look, that's all you can ask for. Now he's got to get in and do it. A lot of people have said to me that they think he's a little bit nervous this week, that there's a few butterflies. I think that's fair enough. I think he probably is, but I think he's probably more nervous of being in front of the media than anything. I think he just wants to fight. I think, as I said at the beginning of this interview, I'm happy to sleep here and wait for Saturday night. I'm so excited about calling the fight. I think Daniel's ready to go in. I think maybe the two of us can go and do it now, because I think that it's that waiting period, which I think some fighters like. I think Alexander is just happy with that. I think he just sees it as a business on Saturday night. I think Daniel Dubois sees it as his purpose. So I think he wants it to happen now, not on Saturday. So this 48 hours is going to be tough for Daniel Dubois. But for Usyk, he's a little bit more accustomed to it, and I think he'll be a little bit more relaxed and cool, as we saw. I think the 2 words I'd take out of today is Alexander's cool and Daniel's confident, and that's where we are with it. We've got to wait till Saturday, because the rules are that the bell doesn't ring until 9:45, 10 o'clock. There's a curfew here, so we'll know by 11 o'clock what happens, or what has happened. So everyone's got to wait, which is part of the fun of it, really. I don't think it's much fun for Daniel. I think Daniel just wants to fight.
Yeah.
So his team have got to just, keep him nice and calm in these 48 hours. And I think that's going to be the biggest challenge. For Usyk, I don't think that will be a challenge. But come fight night, we'll find out.